Data collected. Students tested 4 cases, one with pure water, one with water and dissolved carbon dioxide via baking soda and dishwasher soap, one with water and dissolved carbon dioxide covered with a red film, and one with water and carbon dioxide covered with a green film. Students exposed the beaker with only water and leaf discs for 41 minutes, the beaker with only water and carbon dioxide for 37 minutes, and the other 2 beakers with water and carbon dioxide, but covered with differently colored films for 23 minutes. Students found that in 41 minutes, no leaf discs floated in an only water environment. In 37 minutes, 4 leaf discs floated in a carbon dioxide and water environment. In 23 minutes, 1 leaf disc floated in a carbon dioxide and red filter environment, and in 23 minutes, no leaf discs floated in a carbon dioxide and green filter environment. 2 leaf discs floated in the carbon dioxide only solution after 33, and another 2 leaf discs floated 4 minutes after that. 1 leaf disc floated within the first minute of the red beaker's exposure to light. During the time intervals, no changes were observed in the water or the leaf discs, but approaching 24 minutes, certain discs began to move upwards but did not completely float.
Students observed that under the conditions given, photosynthesis took place slowly, not at all, or at small quantities. In the carbon dioxide-only beaker, the flotation of leaf discs did not happen constantly or gradually, but rather happened sporadically at seemingly random times. The red beaker, while containing a floating disc, did not bring forth any flotation later on, indicating a negligible change because of the disc's inconsistency with other discs. The unpredictable rate of flotation of discs and the absence of a consistent or constant rate in flotation imply either an error in procedure, a requirement for more time, or that photosynthesis takes place slowly in Miss Sheppel's garden leaves. The fact that the carbon dioxide-only discs floated after 33 minutes, a time longer than the time used to test the red filter and green filter discs, reveals that students' data could have been limited by a small time frame, as extended exposure of the green filter and red filter discs to light could have yielded an increase in the number of floating discs. The most discs, 4, floated in the carbon dioxide-only beaker, followed by the red filter beaker, 1 disc, and the green filter beaker, 0 discs, and the water beaker, also 0 discs.
As the water beaker did not house any floating discs, but the carbon dioxide beaker housed the most amount of floating discs, carbon dioxide is most certainly necessary in photosynthesis as an exposure to light, seeing as the 2 beakers with limited exposure to light produced limited amounts of floating discs. Indications could also be made that red light is not as important as green light in photosynthesis, which is incorrect, as according to Carnegie, chloroplasts contain a green pigment called chlorophyll, and a green pigment would reflect green light, indicating that it is not used much in photosynthesis. As 4 discs floated after 37 minutes for the carbon dioxide-only beaker, the rate of flotation or photosynthesis is 4 out of 37 leaves per minute, or 0.108 leaves per minute. The rate at which the leaves floated in the red beaker is 1 out of 23 leaves per minute, or 0.435 leaves per minute. The rates of flotation for the water beaker and the green beaker are both 0.
The hypothesis proposed that filtering out red light would have a more negative effect on photosynthesis rate than filtering out green light was disproved by the data collected. The data revealed that the red filtered beaker produced more floating discs than the green filtered beaker, showing no support for the hypothesis. The data showed that the green filtered beaker and the water only beaker produced 0 floating discs after 23 and 41 minutes respectively, while the red filtered beaker produced 1 floating disc and the non-filtered carbon dioxide beaker produced 4 floating discs after 23 and 37 minutes respectively. The results of this experiment showed that the filtering out red light had a less negative effect on photosynthesis than filtering out green light. The carbon dioxide only beaker produced the most floating discs because, as Farabee says, photosynthesis is a process by which plants use energy from sunlight to produce sugar. Without light, photosynthesis cannot take place, and the more exposure to light, the more photosynthesis takes place. The following factors, such as inconsistent exposure of light, inconsistent durations of exposure to light, and damage to the leaves before the experiment, could have affected the outcome of the results, due to the nature of all of these factors to inhibit photosynthesis or damage leaves. Additional research, such as which plants photosynthesize most effectively and why, may clarify which factors of photosynthesis are more important within the plant. The hypothesis proposed